Hi, Poland's Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki and Polish Minister for Climate Mikhail Kurtyka. This is me, Ayub Hamidi, from the platform of Project greenearth.org from Stockholm, Sweden. Through this video message, I would like to give you a very short presentation on why choosing nuclear power plants over solar and wind sources of power production would be a very wrong step in the wrong direction for not only for your administration but for the Polish people and Poland as a country too. I recently read an article, and in that article I was astonished to read that your administration is planning to increase the installed nuclear power capacity in Poland from 6 to 9 gigawatts by 2040. I also read in the same article that Poland would start building its first nuclear reactor in 2026, which is expected to be completed and commissioned by 2033. This is I personally believe, a very wrong step in the wrong direction, as I've just mentioned previously. There are many reasons to that. First and the foremost, nuclear is very unsustainable source to produce electricity. Second, nuclear power generation produces nuclear waste that is meant to stay in our ecosystem for 100,000 years. Thirdly, even with this high installed nuclear power capacity all across the globe, we do not have the ability and capacity to sustainably manage the nuclear waste. Fourth most is uranium is basically the key source to produce electricity from a nuclear power plant. Europe has to import uranium from other countries across the globe. So uranium is actually it would be a step in the direction that would actually make Poland rely on other countries rather than to be an energy independent country when it comes to the sources of power production. Last but not the least, it is a very big security threat. For example, in case of a climate catastrophe, what we've experienced in Fukushima in 2011, nuclear power plants becomes a very big security threat and a very big problem for the country rather than a solution. So, in comparison, if you would look at the clean and green sources of power production, let's say solar and wind, it takes a very small amount of a time, normally within few months or a year, that we can actually use to complete these projects, to be done with these projects. On the contrary, it takes at least 7 to 10 years to develop or construct a nuclear power plant. On the contrary, it takes hardly like 3 months to build a 1 gigawatt of installed solar PV capacity. For example, look at Germany, your neighbor. Germany installed over 1 gigawatt of solar PV during the quarter one of 2019. It again installed another gigawatt of solar PV in the quarter one of 2020. So can be the case for Poland. Poland and Germany lies in the same geographical region. I personally believe they have more or less the same potential for solar radiation and wind. So if Germany can have an installed capacity of 50 gigawatts for solar PV and another 53 gigawatts for wind, so can be the case for Poland. That is hardly has an installed capacity of 40 or 43 gigawatts for electricity production under the current circumstances. So choosing solar and wind over nuclear power is a much needed step in the right direction. One thing that should be appreciated in Poland is like Poland reached its milestone of first gigawatt of installed solar PV capacity in 2019, but this should just be the beginning. For example, if Poland would like to follow the footsteps of Germany, for example, installing 1 gigawatt of solar PV every 3 months, so that would mean somewhere like roughly 4 gigawatts of installed solar PV capacity in a year, and simultaneously manage to install 1 gigawatt of installed wind turbine capacity in Poland every year. So collectively, with an installation of roughly 5 gigawatts of solar and wind in Poland for every year for the coming decade, I personally believe by 2030, Poland would be in a very strong position to either completely eliminate or put coal power to the edge of extinction or phasing out, by the year 2030. It is possible for Poland. We have the right solutions, we have the right technology, we have the right expertise. Only thing we need is the political will to solve the problem of phasing coal out in a sustainable manner through our 100% reliance on solar, wind, and waste to energy power plants. Reliance on nuclear power plant is a completely unsustainable way, and it would certainly create catastrophic situations and problems for not only for your administration but for the Poland as a country and Poles as the nation living in that country. So this was my message. Our reliance on solar PV and our reliance on wind is possible. Germany, for example, if you would compare Germany and Poland, Germany is slightly like 14% larger of a country than Poland, but Germany has 2 times more people than Poland has right now. For example, Germany has a population of 83 million. On the contrary, Poland has a population of roughly slightly over 37 million people. So if Germany can accomplish to install 50 gigawatts of solar PV and 50 gigawatts of wind with the available resources and available geographical area, installation of 50 gigawatts of solar PV and another installation of 50 gigawatts of wind for Poland, considering that it has like half of a population to what Germany has, is absolutely possible. Choosing solar and wind over nuclear power for the coming 10, 20, or 30 years is the right step, is a much needed step in the right direction. And I personally hope through this video message, I would be able I would be able to increase your awareness on the given issues that choosing nuclear for future is a very wrong step in the wrong direction, and certainly a step that we would all regret in the coming decade or so. Thank you so much for your time and attention. Bye.